Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today, inshallah, we will discuss the next group of Madd-ul-Lazim, which is Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi. Harfi is from Harf. That means a letter. So Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi is compulsory stretching of 6 counts within letters. There are 14 letters in the Quran that come in the beginning of surahs. These are called Huruful Muqqata'aat or the separate letters. We read these letters by their names and not by the sound. For example, if the harf is like this, noon, so this is how we can write this harf, noon, wow, noon. So we read them by their names. They can come as a single letters, for example, letter noon, letter sad, letter qaf. They can come as two letters together, for example, ha, mim, ta, sin. And sometimes you can see that they can come as three letters, for example, alif lam mim, alif lam ra, ta, sin, mim. And at times they appear in combinations of four letters. For example, Alif Lam Mim Sad, Alif Lam Mim Ra. And there is only one place where there are five letters together, and that is Kaf Ha Ya Ain Sad. So these 14 letters are divided into the following groups in regards to Mudood. The first one is Alif, that does not have any mud. The second group includes these letters: letter ha, letter ya, letter ta, letter ha, letter ra. And whenever you see these letters in Huruf al-Muqatta'aat, we read them with two counts of Madd-ul-Tabi'i or Madd-ul-Asli. The third group has these letters: Sin, Noon, Qaf, Sad, Lam, Kaf, Mim. And this group is read with 6 counts of stretching. So when it comes to Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi, this is the group that we will be discussing in our topic of compulsory lengthening of 6 counts. For the letter Ain, there is an option of 4 or 6 counts of stretching in our way of recitation, because Ain is read with Madd-ul-Lin, where the second last letter is a lean letter. So we will read this letter with Madd-ul-Lin, not with Madd-ul-Lazim. So the group that we will be discussing in our topic of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi is the third group, where the letters are Sin, Noon, Qaf, Sad, Lam, Kaf, Mim. Compulsory lengthening of 6 counts within Huruful Muqatta'aat in Sanaqussu Lakum is further divided into two groups. The first one is Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Musaqqal and Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. And just like in Madd-ul-Lazim Qalbi Musaqqal is a heavy sound due to Shadda, and Mukhaffaf is a light sound due to the Sakin letter. In Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Musaqqal, when we'll see idgham happening between two letters, the mutaharrik letter will carry a shadda, indicating idgham kamil of a sakin letter into a mutaharrik letter. So due to the mad letter followed by a shadda letter, where the first letter is a sakin letter, we will have the conditions of 6 counts of stretching of that mad with Maddul Lazim, and we will call it Maddul Lazim Harfi Musaqqal. And the next group is Maddul Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. When there is idghar or ikhfa happening and not idgham, in that case there will be no shadda on the letter. The letter will carry a sukoon, and when a mad letter is followed by an original sukoon, in that case we will recite that mad with 6 counts of stretching, but we will call it Maddul Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. And we will see some examples now and try to understand this concept. If you see in the first example, Alif Lam Mim, if I try to write the name of all these letters, I can write them like this: Alif Lam Mim. Alif has no mad. In the name of letter Lam, there is Alif mad followed by letter Mim. So this meme is sakin. Idgham al-shafawi is happening here, where sakin meme is followed by a voweled meme. So when I will put a shadda here, now I can see that alif mad is followed by a shadda letter. And because these are huruful muqatta'aat, so I will call this mad Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Musaqqal. Now, if I see here, letter ya mad is followed by meme, and this meme is sakin. So there is an original sukoon after ya mad. So now I have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. I have to give this mad 6 counts. So in the recitation, I will recite it like this.
ألف لام ميم.
If we see in the second example, we can see the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Musaqqal, where Idgham al-Shafawi is happening. Because of Idgham al-Shafawi, this letter meme will carry a shadda. Now we have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Musaqqal. After that, we can see Ya Mad is followed by a permanent sukoon on letter meme. Now we have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. And then after meme, because meme sakina is followed by letter sad, here we have the conditions of izhar. Now next, alif mad is followed by letter dal, which has a permanent sukoon. Again, we have the conditions of maddul lazim harfi mukhaffaf. So this is how we will pronounce it.
ألف لام ميم صاد.
In the next example, we can see alif, lam, ra. And these are the applicable rules that alif mad is followed by letter meme, which has a permanent sukoon written clearly. There is no shadda here. So we have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. And
ميم
is followed by letter ra. We have the conditions of Izhar al-Shafawi. By giving this mad 6 counts and by doing Izhar Shafawi, we will recite this example like this.
ألف لام را.
In the next example, we have these huruful muqatta'aat, alif, lam, mim, ra. And now we can see some applicable rules here. Alif mad is followed by letter mim, which is sakin. And sakin mim is followed by a mutaharrik letter mim. So idgham ash-shafawi is happening here. The mutaharrik letter mim will carry a shadda. And you can see here. So alif mad is followed by a shadda. Now we have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Musaqqal. And then Ya Mad is followed by an original sukoon written clearly on letter meme. So here we have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. And now meme sakina is followed by letter ra. Now we have the conditions of Izhar al-Shafawi. So this is how we will pronounce it.
ألف لام ميم را.
In the next example, we can see kaf ha ya ain sad. We can see alif mad is followed by an original sukoon, 6 counts of maddul lazim harfi mukhaffaf, and then letter ha and letter ya are written like this, and we can see the conditions of maddu tabi'i in the letter ha and letter ya. Now in letter ain, we can see the conditions of maddul leen, where the second last letter is a leen letter followed by a sakin letter. And now noon sakina is followed by letter sad. We have the conditions of ikhfa of noon sakina. And lastly, we can see alif mad is followed by a permanent sukoon on letter dal. We can see the conditions of maddul lazim harfi mukhaffaf. By applying all these rules, we will pronounce these huruful muqatta'aat like this.
كاف ها يا عين صاد.
And the next huruf al-muqatta'at are ta, ha. In both of them, we can see the conditions of maddu tabi'i. By giving both of them 2 counts, we will recite them like this.
طه.
In the next huruf al-muqatta'at, we can see the letters ta, sin, and mim, where we can see ta with 2 counts of Maddul Tabi'i. Then in sin, we can see letter Nun Sakina is followed by letter Mim. Idgham Kamil of Nun Sakina will happen here, and due to Idgham Kamil, Mim will carry a Shadda. Now Mad letter Ya is followed by a Shadda letter. We have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Musaqqal. And the last one is Ya Mad is followed by Mim Sakin. And now we have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. By applying all these rules, we will recite these Huruf al-Muqatta'aat like this.
طاسيم ميم.
In the next Huruf al-Muqatta'aat, we can see 2 letters, letter Ta and letter Sin. And in letter Ta, we can see the conditions of Maddul Tabi'i. And in letter Sin, we can see the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf, where Ya Mad is followed by original Sakin letter. By applying these rules, we will recite this example like this.
طاسين.
In the next example of Huruf al-Muqatta'aat, we can see 2 letters, letter Ya and letter Sin. In letter Ya, we can see the conditions of Maddul Tabi'i, and in letter Sin, we can see the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. And by applying these rules, we will recite these letters like this.
ياسين.
In the next example, we can see only one letter, which is letter Sad. Applicable rules are Alif Mad is followed by an original Sakin letter. By giving 6 counts of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf, we will recite this harf like this.
صاد.
In the next example, we can see 2 Huruf al-Muqatta'aat, letter Ha and letter Mim. And letter Ha has the conditions of Maddul Tabi'i. And in letter Mim, we can see Ya Mad is followed by an original Sakin letter Mim. We have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. By applying these rules, we will recite these Huruf al-Muqatta'aat like this.
حميم.
In the next example, we can see 3 Huruf al-Muqatta'aat, letter Ain, letter Sin, and letter Qa. So if you see the applicable rules, you can see there is Maddul-Lin in the word Ain. And now letter Noon is followed by letter Sin. So Ikhfa is happening because letter Sin is a light letter. So Gunna will be light. Then we can see Ya Mad is followed by an original Sakin letter Noon. So here we have the condition of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. Then Noon Sakina is followed by letter Qaf. And letter Qaf is a letter. When it comes after a Sakin letter Noon, we apply the rules of Ikhfa of Noon Sakina. And because Qaf is a heavy letter, the Gunna will be heavy. After this, we can see Alif Mad followed by an original Sukoon. And now again, we have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. By applying all these rules, we will recite these huruf like this.
عين سين قاف.
And next we have harf qaf. And this is how we can write it, where alif mad is followed by an original sukoon on letter fa. We have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. By giving it 6 counts, we will recite this like this.
قاف.
And the last one is letter Noon. And this is how we can write it, where we can see Waw Mad is followed by an original Sakin letter Noon. Now we have the conditions of Madd-ul-Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf. By giving it 6 counts, we will recite like this.
نون.
Alhamdulillah, this way we have finished our Mudood, but inshallah we will continue with the last topic that is related to Mudood, which is Aqwa as-Sababain in our next class. I hope these Mudood are clear to you. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.